as a buyer, those measurements are there to help them, not to just be there because we want to put measurements in the listing, you know? Guys, welcome back to my channel via Glow. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps and I resell clothing ship. So in today's video we have yet another ship with me. I will be shipping out orders from this past weekend, and the weekend for me and my business include Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I did have a pretty decent weekend, which we absolutely love. My gross profit was $857.41, and I did net $674.08. I had a total sale amount of 30. I did sell across 3 platforms. So eBay, I got 15 sales, Poshmark, I had 10, and Mercari, I had 5. I personally don't know what happened to 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂, but you know, what can you do? But we're gonna start on eBay first. If you're new here, I like to kind of cascade my sales. So whichever platform sold the most, we start there and then just work our way down. So yeah, eBay came in with 15, so let's just get started. The first thing was actually this universal standard sweatshirt. This is actually a pretty decent brand. I think I made the mistake of picking up something that needed a little bit more work than I had to give. So I did price this one a little bit lower than I would have liked, just so I can, you know, get a sale. I don't know if this was a blend of a special fabric, but it was really peeled. And honestly, Gloria now would not have picked this up just because it's worth something, don't get me wrong, but you know, when you pick up like flawed items, they're gonna sit a while and the right buyer have to come along. And I mean, technically this wasn't like flawed like with the hole, but it was flawed in a sense of it just having too much wear to it, you know? Because I feel like that is technically a flaw. But this one actually sold for $16.97, and I think it sold on a good old 15% off offer. And I did pay 98 cents for it, and I only made a profit of $12.61 after fees and cost of goods. This one is actually going to California. All right, so the next one is actually a new to me brand called 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂𝕊. These are just like some flare wide leg jeans. I personally only looked into the brand because the waistband was like a pull-on style and it was a flare. So I did notice that the comps were okay. The sell-through rate was okay. So I'm like, okay, I can definitely take this home. I did receive an offer on Poshmark for like $15. And at the time of me picking this up, this one was selling between 20 to 25. So I knew I'd just go ahead and hold out for the right buyer. And luckily I did, because I did make a little bit more. But this one, it did sell to a watcher. So I typically send out 15% off offers every morning that I wake up. I do not do it on Thursday mornings just because I know I'm not going to be shipping for a few days, so I don't bother sending out offers on Thursday. So but anyways, this one did sell for $20.37. I did pay $1.54 for it, and I made a profit of $14.75 after fees and cost of goods. This one is going to Arizona. All right, the next one is these mountain hardwear like ski pants. These got so much attention. I know I have recently talked about mountain hardwear actually being on my bread and butter list, and it's just been performing so well for me. So every time I see it at the bins in good condition, I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. And this one did not disappoint. I don't price mine that high. I definitely, of course, check comps and stuff, and I try to match mine to what market is saying that it is worth selling for. And this one was around that $30 to $40 range. So I ended up pricing it at that because I knew my lowest was going to be $30. So this one actually sold for my full asking price, and it looks like I relisted it once. So typically when I relist an item, I will drop it by a penny. But since the new year has started, I kind of started a different method of that, where I started at 89 cents instead of at 99. So everything that's going to be getting relisted this year, I'm just going to drop it to 80.89, just so I can remember, like, okay, this has been relisted in January, and you know, so on and so forth. But like I said, this one sold for my full asking price of $34.98. And this one, like I said, got a lot of attention. It got more attention on eBay than it did on Poshmark. So I'm not surprised that it sold over there. I noticed that my Mountain Hardwear jacket that I recently had, that one had also sold on eBay. And that one sold for my full asking price. I want to say a $40 too. So if you come across this brand, I would highly suggest you pick it up. But this one, I did pay $1.02 for at the Goodwill outlet, and I did make a profit of $28.06 after fees and cost of goods. This one's going to Texas. Well, it's in Texas, but it's going to Austin, Texas. I probably should say that because I do live in Texas. All right, and this one is a pair of Rourke, I want to say, shorts. This is funny because I actually walked past a throwback bin. So typically they have everybody line up their carts alongside the walls, and you can't bring your shopping cart with you, you know, while you are shopping at the bins. So I noticed that the end cap area is where all of people throwbacks go, and I kind of like to, you know, look through it a little bit real quickly. And I actually saw these, and I have saw the specific like style brand name, and I'm like, that looks to be like it's a good brand. So I went on and picked it up, and I checked comps briefly, and I'm like, oh, these are doing great. And I was just like, this is a pretty good brand. And I remember picking up a shirt from this brand, and it got a lot of attention and eventually sold. This one literally took, I want to say, maybe 2 or 3 days, and it flipped. I did send out a 15% off offer. Of course, they accepted it, and this one sold for $28.89, and I did pay $1.14 for it, and I made a profit of $22.93 after fees and cost of goods. This one is actually going to California. Now we're moving on to the packaged items. This is a Madewell sweater. I remember picking this up, I think like in October, I want to say. It was a size large, and it was ribbed. The size large was the only thing that inclined me to grab it. This one technically didn't take that long to sell. October isn't bad, but this one did sell on a 15% off offer, and it sold for $20.38. I did pay $1 for it, and I made a profit of $15.57 after fees and cost of goods. And this one is going to California. Madewell, it's still desirable, but it's certain pieces and certain styles that I would personally pick up. I don't pick up everything that I see anymore. I used to, and then I started to be like, okay, I'm gonna be mindful of what I'm picking up. Next thing I know, it just kind of stopped selling. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make sure that I only pick up a large and over, because I had noticed those were the only things that was moving. So I had to be, you know, mindful to just not flood my closet with stuff that people don't want. But this one is a bikini set. This one is called Keeny Bikini, and when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, this is cute. And then when I looked into the brand, I'm like, oh, this is great. So I was so happy that I had found it as a set. And this one ended up selling for my full asking price of $69.98. I did pay $2, which was $1 per piece, and I made a profit of $57.64 after fees and cost of goods. This one is going to Georgia. I would highly suggest you pick up that brand if you see it. Okay, so this is actually a skirt. I picked this up due to style. Y'all know I love a good style-based piece. And this was like a midi skirt. It was very much so like cottage, prairie, all the things. The only problem with it is that it was like a midi instead of a maxi, because I definitely would have priced this a little bit higher because it was a better size. It was an extra large. But this buyer had messaged me and was like, hey, since you don't accept offers, can you do 17? Mind you, I had it priced at 24. I said no. And then I said, I also do accept returns, but it's at the buyer's expense. So then she was like, okay, well, could you do 20? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And this one is going to Virginia. My whole thing is like, with stuff like that, it's very strange to be like, let me lowball you just because you don't accept offers. That just doesn't make any sense. So prior to me, you know, saying that I'll accept her $20 offer, I told her to please look at the measurements that are provided and compare it to another skirt that she loves and likes, just so she can make sure she can fit it. Because I feel like people don't really consider the fact that as a buyer, those measurements are there to help them, not to just be there because we want to put measurements in the listing, you know. But anyways, this one sold for $20. I did pay $1.14 for it, and I made a profit of $14.91 after fees and cost of goods. All right, this is a express top. I remember telling y'all in that one video where I was talking about my bread and butters. The 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂 used to be one in 2023. It was no longer in 2024. This one was new tag, size large, Kelly green, long sleeve. Like, it had all the bells and whistles, and it still didn't sell for many months. So I completely stopped picking it up. I even noticed, you know, with it being new tags, it still doesn't hold any weight. So I just don't bother picking up this brand. I don't care if it's a 3X sale, new tags, linen, like, I ain't picking it up. But this was sold for $21.16, which was an offer I sent them, and I did pay $1.01 for it, and I made a profit of $16.38 after fees and cost of goods. This one is going to Georgia. All right, it sounds like I said Porsche. Don't make me call Porsche. If you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, this is a J. Jill knit cardigan sweater. I believe this is linen. I was so lucky one day. I have found a ladies plus size J. Jill like lot in one bin, and I picked all of it up except like 2 pieces. They had like minor flaws that wasn't worth it. But this one took a little bit to sell. The other pieces like flipped real quick. But since this was a linen blend, I kind of figured it was going to take a little bit longer. But this one did sell for $23.77. I did pay $1 for it, and I made a profit of $18.69 after fees and cost of goods. This one's going to Arizona. All right. This is a item that I literally just sourced. The brand is called Rungoli. When I first picked it up, I did notice the label, and I'm like, okay, this label looks expensive. So let me look into it. Looked into it, and the comps were amazing. So I'm just like, oh yeah, you're coming home with me. So naturally, as the business person that I am, I went and checked the comps and I think I checked the sell-through rate, but I checked the comps specifically because I wanted to know where I was going to price mine. I didn't want to price it too high, but I didn't want to price it too low. So I found a sweet spot of like on the low 40s, and I priced it at $42.99, which is a very random amount, but in my head I'm sure I was trying to make sure that I got over $35 for it. But I did pay $1.14 for it, and I made a profit of $35.56 after fees and cost of goods. This one is going to be going to Massachusetts, so yeah. All right, this is a J. Jill dress. Y'all also recently saw this one. I was actually kind of shocked that this one sold as quickly as it did, because you already know J. Jill in smaller sizes don't really flip that quick. But this was a small petite, so I'm just like, you know. But I did price it a little bit higher than I typically would a J. Jill like smaller size piece, only because it was a maxi dress. If it wasn't a maxi, I would have never picked it up and priced it at that price point. But it was a maxi, and this one did sell for $23.79, which was an offer that I sent them. I did pay 94 cents for it, and I made a profit of $18.61 after fees and cost of goods. This was going to North Carolina. This is a Sundance sweater. Y'all know I picked this one up. I have the same sentiments, like, oh my goodness, it's such a beautiful sweater. The only problem is a petite, extra small. But I say, you know what, I'm gonna take it anyways because I'm getting it for $1, and I love Sundance. Sundance has definitely declined, but I still kind of get excited when I pick it up, and especially this type of piece, because this one just was so vibrant and colorful. But this one did sell for $27.96. I did pay $1.16 for it, and I made a profit of $21.92 after fees and cost of goods. This one is going to be going to Colorado. All right, this is a neon Buddha top. Now, I remember a few years ago that this was like a desirable brand. The only reason why I grabbed this, because the comps were not looking good, but the only reason why I grabbed it is because I knew that I was going to market it a certain way and not really rely on the brand too much. But it had big buttons. It was like a tunic style. It was lag and look. It had like this hot pink colorway, and it was an extra large. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to market this to more of the mature, you know, oversized tunic, lag and look vibe people. And I'm happy that it sold, and I didn't price it that high. But this one sold for $21.23. I did pay $1.09 for it, and I made a profit of $16.39 after fees and cost of goods. This one is going to MD. I don't know where that's at. All right, and then the last thing to sell on eBay was these express pants. I actually sold these, and then they got returned. So we love that. But I went on and just priced them back at the price point that I knew that they would sell for. And yeah, it's Theory, their wool. Like, I love Theory, and I love picking up their wool pants, because I do notice that that is the price point they typically sell for, is around that $30 range. So this is a pretty good pickup. I don't have a cost of goods just because I've already sold it, so I've already technically paid for it. So I do have it at 23. Well, it sold for $27.96, but I made a profit of $23.27 after fees. So yeah, and these are actually going to California. All right. Oh, and then the actual last one that I do not have here. So just as a quick side note, for the next, like, what, 8 weeks that I'm going to be doing these ship with me videos, I most likely will have items that I do not have in my possession that actually sold this weekend, but I still include it in the video because they are a part of the sales. However, when I go to my assistant's house and pull all of my orders, I'm doing that around 3 p.m. So anything that sells after 3 p.m. to this morning, it doesn't go out today. It's going to be going out tomorrow. So yeah, it's going to be a few pieces that y'all are going to see that I don't physically have, but they still sold this past weekend. This is a Brooks Brothers sweater. This one did sell for $28.98, and I did pay $1.41 for it, and I made a profit of $22.47 after fees and cost of goods. Brooks Brothers is one of those brands where I kind of went a little crazy in the beginning, because I feel like what ends up happening is something you get and then you sell it and you're like, oh, this must be a great brand, and then you just start picking everything up, and then some things sell, some things don't, and then you kind of reel it in, and then you do a little bit better when it comes to sourcing stuff. So that's pretty much what I did. So I make sure that I source stuff that I have already sold, and their quarter zips perform for me, so I do pick them up when I see them. And that was a pretty good flip. That was my full asking price as well. All right, so moving on to Poshmark. This is a men's express coat. What is so funny is that I remember sourcing this, and I instantly was like, oh, this is gonna do great, because I thought it was a women's coat after I checked measurements. But Express is so gracious that they give us style codes, and we are able to actually, you know, check and see the actual item. And come to find out, this was actually a men's pea coat. And I was so disappointed, because I'm just like, damn. However, this is just not done right. Let me do this again. But I did go and check like the comps and stuff, and I noticed that it actually wasn't doing that bad in the men's category. So I went on and relisted it, and I priced it like $20 higher. And it literally sold. So I'm just like, I'm over here being upset about this. I don't know how I'm going to squeeze this in that box. I didn't think this through. Okay, maybe I can if I do it like this. I'm going to get these out the way. But yeah, so I guess don't sleep on Express men's items. Well, they're substantial pieces. I don't pick up their jeans. I think I picked up a pair of jeans once, and they performed really well, but I remember checking the style on it, and that particular style was doing well. So I would say look at it with your own discretion, because I even tried to check their like work trouser pants, and those were not performing well. So I just kind of side-eyed the brand when it came to men's items, but this is for sure not fitting in that box. I don't know what to do, because I know it's not going to fit in a poly mailer either. I'm going to have to figure something out. But yeah, so I ended up, you know, after I changed it and updated it, it got more attention, and it sold within a few days of me updating it. So love that. Maybe it can. I think I can stuff it in there. Hold on. But yeah, so this one sold for $60, and I did pay $1.23 for it, and I made a profit of $46.77 after fees and cost of goods. This one is going to Indiana, I want to say. I did not need all those poly mailers, but I brought them just in case, child. I wanted to be super prepared because I've been slacking the last couple of times. even yesterday when I pulled all the sales, I ended up leaving, and then I realized, oh shit, I didn't bring any of the shipping supplies. So luckily I was still in the neighborhood, so I was, you know, there in literally 35 seconds. So I just would have been so annoyed because I'm like, damn girl. And then I would have skipped out on filming the video. But that didn't happen. Okay, heavy. I'm actually happy that it's sold on Posh. That's like one of the best things about Poshmark is the priority. I know people complain about the priority when it comes to like the first, oh shit, I done broke the box. When it comes to like the first, not first class, but USPS grounds. Like if you're buying just like a t-shirt, you have to pay $8 for it. Honestly, I don't even mind it. Okay, so yeah, y'all, this was a pretty good pickup. Let me know if you sell men's, you know, express. And have I been sleeping on it? Because I feel like I have. Okay, I'm still gonna put this on it just to secure it a little bit more, because I did stuff it in there. Okay, let me put another one. Yeah, I told you I was going to Indiana, right? I'm gonna put one more. Just stay on the safe side. Okay, I will have all of my shipping supplies linked down below. Y'all know that you get the priority supplies for free on USPS website. You do not have to pay for that. But hold on, I gotta grab these items. All right, so the next thing is actually this Disney men's button-down shirt. And this one took forever to sell. Like, I know for a fact I picked this up earlier this year and it just now sold. It is a vintage piece, and I did sit on this for quite some time, and like I was telling y'all about that Disney skirt as well. Maybe Disney is just more so, you know, summer-ish based, and it's also just not as popular. Well, Disney is popular, but buying the, you know, the Disney pieces, because it's so oversaturated. Like, I feel like Disney literally licensed its name to so many people. So everybody has like merch and designs and like that. So it's just super oversaturated. So I stopped a long time ago picking up, you know, Walt Disney items and all of that. So I just make sure I steer clear of it unless it's something just really good and it's really worth it. Otherwise, I don't pick it up. And to be honest, this was a size medium, so that's my fault. I think I picked up something similar to a men's button down, but it was like a plus size, and I think I sold that for like $40. So that's my fault. This one is actually going to New York, which we love. Oh, this sold for $20. I paid $1 and I made a net of $15 on that one. Okay, this is a Torrid dress. This is a Torrid maxi dress. You already know Torrid is, it's not really a bread and butter for me anymore. It's just more so like, oh, if it's not plus size or new, well, I guess they're all plus size. What I meant, if it's not a maxi and newer tags, then I don't even waste my time. So it needs to be either or just like a really good piece. But I just don't pick it up for funsies, and I do come across it a lot. I don't bother picking up their bottoms anymore. But I did recently see a subscriber say that Torrid like shorts and stuff do well during the summer, so that might be something we can all look into. But this one did sell for $34. I did pay $1.26 for it, and I made a profit of $25.94 after fees and cost of goods. And I forgot, this one is actually going to Tennessee. Ooh, we got a sale on, ooh, a full price sale on Mercari. We love that. Okay, This is a gimmicks top. This one is kind of interesting because I picked this one up, and y'all know how it is, or y'all should know how it is. When you pick things up at the Goodwill outlet, or anywhere for the matter, you need to already know how you're going to plan on marketing it, especially if the brand is no good. Now, I've come across this brand quite a few times, but the item just wasn't sellable in my opinion. But when I saw this one, I'm just like, there are quite a few keywords I can use for this one. And I, put all those keywords in there, and I was actually surprised that it got a lot of attention. So I ended up just, waiting for the right buyer. I wasn't gonna go any lower. Nobody was sending offers, and it got relisted. And I think that's why people was like, let me go ahead and get it. Cause it had like 12 watchers, not watchers, but 12 likers on Poshmark. I think it had like 5 on eBay. So I don't know if it was the brand or the style or the fact that I used the right keywords, but if y'all see something similar, definitely pick it up. But this one is going to Kansas. And this one did sell for $25. They sent me a very modest offer. I had it priced at $28. And typically things that are priced at $28, I'm willing to accept anything that's over $20. So they sent me a $25 offer. I did pay $1.54 for it, and I made a profit of $18.46 after fees and costs of goods. The next one is this Madewell flannel. This one was a size large, like I told y'all before. Size large and some type of, weight to carry it. And this one was just a flannel. It was a really pretty like pink colorway. I felt some type of way about it just because I'm like, okay, I don't know if this one is gonna do that well, because this is more of a fall piece than it is a winter piece. But I said, you know what, it's a size large, it's made well, let's go ahead and get it. And I'm glad I did, because this one didn't take long to sell. I literally just sourced this either in December or early January. So this is a pretty fast flip. This one's going to Washington, and this one did sell for $23. I did pay $1.21 for it, and I made a profit of $17.19 after fees and cost of goods. So that was a pretty good one. All right, these are some Anthropologie pants. They're like a chino style. I sold this exact style before, and I think it was like a burnt orange colorway. These typically go for over $30. Well, they did. But I didn't price these that high just because of the size. It was a smaller size. And that is something that I consider mostly when I do price my items, the size. So if this was a size 31, definitely would have got like 35, 40. But since this was a size, I want to say either 4 or 6, I knew that I had to price it accordingly. But this one did sell for $25. I did pay $1.72 for it, and I made a profit of $18.76 after fees and cost of goods. And this one is going to San Antonio, Texas. So a few Texas pieces. All right, this was a brand that I remember seeing at a thrift store, and the piece was really pretty. I think it was linen. I definitely was filming a vlog that day, but I ended up leaving it behind just because comps were so up and down, and y'all already know how I am. I'm not paying, $8 to $10 for a piece that I don't know is gonna flip for, $40 to $50. So I left it there, but I did remember the brand. So when I came across this one, I'm like, okay, this is a larger size. It's colorful. This is giving the girls what they want. So I need to make sure that I plug in the right keywords. So this one ended up selling for $21. They also sent me a very modest offer. I had it priced at $25. They sent me a $21 offer, and I did pay $1.21 for it, and I made a profit of $15.59 after fees and cost of goods. And this one is going to South Carolina. All right, this is the last Poshmark piece. This one surprised the hell out of me. So I actually recently sourced this, like I want to say last week. And I did not price it high just because unfortunately it had like some wear to the back. So either it fell on the ground or something, but it was new with tags. So I didn't price it high. Because I did go look at the website, and from my recollection, it's actually from Casey or Cassidy, I forget her name. But I think she is like the 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂𝕊 lady. I remember years ago, definitely a decade ago, when I was trying to get into the little working out thing back then. She used to come up on my YouTube, and I used to try to, But anyway, so she has a clothing line, and I'm sure it's been out for years now, but I came across this, and with it being new with tax, I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. I'm sure I could at least sell it for $20. Listed it, instant attention. I did receive a $15 offer, but I said, you know what, the flaw on the back would come out once they clip the tag and wash it. So I have to be realistic with the price point, and then I knew how low I was willing to go, and $20 was going to be the lowest, because I was already selling it for lower than it typically should have went for, especially since it was new with tags. Some lady did ask me what specific color this was. I told her I didn't know. She was like, well, is it more of this or is it more of that? I said, I don't know. Like, what part don't you get? And I do understand you want to make sure before you purchase, but I don't know what color it is. And I can sit here and say, oh, it's this color, and then you get it, you return it because it's the other color. So I'm not even gonna do that. If you see it, you get it, you can go and actually compare it to the colors. Don't, you know, put that off on me. So she didn't buy it, which I was totally okay with. Another person came in and they just bought it for my offer likers that my bot ended up sending them, which was 20% off, I want to say. But it sold for $22. I did pay 76 cents for it, and I made a profit of $16.84 after fees and cost of goods. And this one is going to Alabama. All right, and then on to the last pieces on Poshmark. This was an LL Bean dress. I recently sourced this, I want to say like in November. I was so excited when I found it. Unfortunately, it was like a vintage LL Bean, so the size was definitely a little bit more tighter than the current size. So I definitely had to sit on it for just a little bit. But this one did get attention. I would highly suggest you pick up anything that is from LL Bean. It is a dress in any way, and then if it was quartered, like, it had all the factors. So I did price this one at $38. I was hoping to get 30. Typically when I price things at $38, 30 to 28 is where I plan on selling that item for. But this one did sell for the $30 that my bot sent them. I did pay $1.23 for it, and I made a profit of $22.77 after fees and cost of goods. And that one is going to be going to DC when I do ship it. And then another piece that sold on Poshmark after I pulled all my sales was these Under Armour pants. I literally just hauled these like last month, I want to say. So like I told y'all before, Under Armour men's is definitely a bread and butter for me. It's kind of like a good little quiet, I mean, with me talking about it now, I guess it will be quiet. But I just enjoy picking it up because it does sell for me. But these sold for $25. I did pay $1.10 for it, and I made a profit of $18.90 after fees and cost of goods. This person also sent me a very modest offer. I think I had it priced at $28. He sent me $25. I'm like, of course. But these are going to be going to Indiana. Wait, what is IA? Because if this is IN, this got to be in Indiana. This is sad. All right, so these are a pair of Cool Mar pants. I would not pick these up again. I'll be honest, the quality of them felt really nice, and I'm sure that's why Gloria in the past wanted to look into them. But girl, these took forever to sell. When I was doing my numbers, I got these way back in February. Yeah, February. 11 months to sell. Definitely wouldn't pick it up. But the other problem is that these actually might be a good brand. But when I went to go and try to find the item to, you know, mark it as sold, I noticed that I actually tagged this as the wrong brand. So I put Coal Bar, not Coal Mar. So I think that is probably, no, I don't think, I know. That's definitely the reason why it sat for as long as it did. Even though it was most likely tagged as the right brand, the name of it was incorrect. So yeah, I flopped. But they eventually sold on Mercari. This buyer came in and sent me a $24 offer, which was very modest because I did have these priced at $28. And I did pay $1.16 for it, and I made a profit of $19.85 after fees and cost of goods. This one is going to Texas. Y'all, I'm so sad that Mercari got the fees back on. Like, I'm so annoyed. It's so depressing. All right, so this is actually a nice little bundle. I've been getting bundles on Mercari lately. I think I got one probably like in September for the very first time on Mercari, and then I think I've had like 3 ever since. But this one was a pretty exciting little bundle. They got 2 anthro pieces. One is a merino like sweatshirt, mono-reno, I want to say. I was actually thinking about putting this on my bread and butter list, but I went to go and look, and I'm like, I'm not getting that many soles for me to put it as a bread and butter. I feel like bread and butter, you have to come across it a lot, and then you have to sell it a lot. But this one wasn't doing that, so I'm just like, yeah, we can't put you on there yet. But the other piece was from a brand called Floor Woods, I want to say. I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, so don't mind me. But I ended up picking it up because I like the style, and then of course I looked more into it, and I was able to find the brand for it, so that kind of worked out. But this one sold for $48. This was also a very modest offer. I think the bundle originally was $60. They sent me $48, and I did pay $2.06 for both of these items, so I made a profit of $39.76 after fees and cost of goods. And this one is going to New Mexico. Yeah, New Mexico. All right, these are some Uniqlo pants. These are a pair of women Uniqlo pants. I typically pick up the men's like trouser chinos because those perform better for me. But for some reason, I'm just like, I think I can sell these. I definitely have to check the sell-through rate because these are very recent. I literally picked these up this month, so this is a very fast turnaround. I'm not really used to Uniqlo flipping this quickly. I feel like Uniqlo typically sells within like that 3-month mark. But yeah, this one did sell for my full asking price of $28. I did pay $1.25 for it, and I made a profit of $23.52 after fees and cost of goods. And this one is going to California. All right, these are a pair of Chico pants. I'll be honest with y'all. I would absolutely never pick up extra large again. And the factor for this one, ooh, we got another sale on eBay. Oh, nice. It's the Johnny O quarter. Anyways, the factor for this one was I assumed that since it was a 2X that it was going to perform well. And then it was new with tags. And I'm just like, oh, this is perfect. I'm taking it home. I've had this definitely since the year started. But yeah, wouldn't pick it up again. I'm sticking to my larges and extra larges. The only time I pick up a small or medium is if the factors are there. But yeah, this is definitely a bad buy. But these actually sold for $21, and I did pay $1.10 for it, and I made a profit of $17.01 after fees and cost of goods. This one is going to Massachusetts as well. All right, and then the last thing to sell was this 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂 top. Another item that I titled wrong. Silly me. And when I first got it, I was like, oh man, I saw this on a few resellers' Instagram stories, and I was so excited when I found it. And one day, very recently, like maybe 2 days before it actually sold, I was just like, wait, I didn't spell that right. So I went in and took out the letter because I think I put like a IUB cool or something like that, and I think that's why it finally sold, because I changed the lettering on it. But yeah, this one, it did sell for $22. I did pay 84 cents for it, and I made a profit of $18.43 after fees and cost of goods. And this one is going to Georgia. Georgia, I gotta stop saying it like that. Porsche. But yeah, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully your sales are doing well, and I'll see you in the next one.